The time's come to play here in my garden of
Hello, I'm Runya, aka Media Adaptation. Welcome back to Moderation while Media is Fair Game. And it's Friday, so that means it's time once again to talk about the supposedly lost 80s style anime, Go for a Punch, aka Saki Sanobashi. And like we predicted last week, the new popularity of this subject means that the Reddit has been flooded with a whole new wave of trolls. And while I'm glad to finally see more interest in the topic, that also means that I have to go through each and every single one of them. So to call this tedious would be an understatement.
Found anything yet? Nothing yet, sir! What about you guys? We ain't found shit!
And it has mostly been a collection of Saki's greatest hits. Higurashi? No. Euphoria? Still no. Although we might have to cover the anime sometime later down the line. And then we get a picture from Wicked City. Again, one that we've already covered before. The only other thing to note is this picture, which I believe comes from a standalone piece of artwork, as it is far too modern for what we're looking for. And as for our Discord server, there's not much there to talk about as well, as dealing with the pandemic has eaten up much of people's free time, and no new progress has been made over the past week. A very odd animation was found by the user Justice Duck that was made in 1985, called Nido to Mezamino Komori Yuta. And this is the style that we're looking for, and also being ultra low budget. And it deals with a kid being bullied based on his looks. This is a very odd film, as it randomly cuts to live action sequences, and then a couple times where the animator just draws over the individual cells. So it feels more like a slow descent into madness. And since we mentioned Wicked City before, someone from that post also suggested that we look at Biohunter from 1995. Another one of those Devilman type concepts that were all the rage back then. But instead of being demons, it's a virus that transforms you into this monstrosity. The story doesn't really make much sense and is very hard to follow, which involves a mob boss getting infected and trying to strong-arm other people into finding a cure. That never happens. So basically it's just known for its over-the-top gore and nudity, which is about on par for most of the ones from this genre. Next on our list would be 1996's Apocalypse Zero, which is just a Fallout version of Guyver, with a severe case of WTF. Okay, try to follow me on this one. We have two apprentices that get mech suits. One of them turns evil and then becomes a woman. No, that's not the weird part. We then get this whole setup with her amassing an army, and even named generals, a la something like Sailor Moon. But then she dies due to her own stupidity. So nothing that was just established even matters. We get effed up monsters of the week, which fight against our hero. But then after our third one dies, she just takes control of the corpse, but then dies to the feedback after he re-kills it. So yeah, our final battle doesn't even involve the second mech suit that we learned about. It was like the company realized just how messed up the show was and just wanted to end it as quickly as possible. And these monster designs, just are the living embodiment of WTF. And we also get the return of the snake dick. Why is that a recurring topic here? Oh, and an interesting note that one of our viewers made last week was that the manga called Brain Damage, which was one of our closest matches to Saki, supposedly got an anime adaptation in 2006, which could have been what the OP thought was Saki, but I haven't been able to find any info on it. So if you guys find a link, then feel free to post it down in our comments. Anyway, let's go back to looking at the adult animation from the time period. And our next one on our list is called The Satisfaction, from December 15th, 1984, which again has the art style and design of what we're looking for. All seems fine until she's randomly teleported to a cave, and then a devil shows up, and I'm pretty sure you know where all this is going. What is with the anime of this time period where it feels like you need to be taking some sort of drug to figure out what's going on? After it's all said and done, her insides burst open, and then she wakes up back at class. But then on her way home, she gets abducted, and then held in a shed and violated. She then contemplates killing herself, So yeah, not a very happy ending on this one. After that, we got another one that was made the same day called Aki Obuki, which is pretty much a play on Alice in Wonderland. Only here, it's Japan, so the subject matter is something you'd rather want to claw your eyes out with. Let's just move on to the next part of the video. And it's finally time for us to finish up our torrent on our random Goro manga, with our last 4 from Shintaro Kago, and our first one called Aiwa and Izuman, which is a nice take on an old Japanese story of a samurai wanting to marry someone else, so he tries poisoning his wife. But it doesn't kill her and only leaves her deformed. So instead he just cuts her head off and then tries to remarry a new girl, only to be haunted by her spirit. The next one is called Many Times of Joy and Sorrow, which is a perfect anagram for looking at Saki Sanobashi. It's basically more body horror, trying to create humanoid weapons to try and win a war. But they ultimately kill everyone, leaving only themselves to start anew. After that, we have one called Mr. Hiroshima. Another body horror, but this one with turtles. Yeah, moving on. And our final one is called My Beloved Lady. And dear sweet God, what were they on this one? Our girl learns that her vagina is linked to a different dimension, and then she travels to each of the other mangas that he's worked on, with paradoxes piling up until a war breaks out with all the variations of the main character. Okay, now that is a way to end this torrent. And with that out of the way, what exactly do we do next? A lot of people have liked our weird mangas at the end, so maybe we could try some short horror ones instead? But that also feels like something that we normally cover on our Tuesday videos. So I'm unsure for now. Tell me what you guys think. And that about does it for this video. If you have any other ideas like seeing made to a video, then please post it down in the comments below, and we'll add it to our next viewer request week.
It's now time for the part of the show where we ask you to help us appease the YouTube algorithm by dropping a like, share, or comment. It helps out much more than you'd think.
And if you haven't subscribed yet, then it's very much appreciated. And if you'd like to support this channel, then please visit our Patreon. Link will be down in the description below. Even if you can't give a lot, every little bit helps. Oh, we also started up a Let's Play channel. So if you want to see us try out some horror games, then feel free to stop on by. Link will be in the card as well as in the description. And I guess I'll see you in the next one. Anyway, I'm Runya.
And I'm Ada.
Remind you to take life in moderation.
Weep not, poor children, for life is this way, murdering beauty and passion. Hush now, dear children, it must be this way.